So I wanted to talk about this concept I've had for a few years. Kind of became made aware of it. I want to say probably 2010, 2011. And I wrote about it, put together some little vlog back in 2012. And it's basically what it is. It's this concept I've got. How folks, regardless of their political, being the main barrier between folks these days, regardless of their political backgrounds, can more or less get along. My belief, just to kind of set this correctly, my belief is that people are, they're really beautiful things. The opportunity to get to know, be kind to, make friends with, have some sort of relationship with another person, it's really special, and I don't think we give enough thought to what they actually are. I mean, you consider the quantifiable accumulation of all of your experiences, right? Like some things in your life you've seen that have just brought a tear to your eye. There have been things that are so beautiful. There have been things that are so heartbreaking. There have been trauma. If you look at it from a strictly pragmatic point of view, from a third-party perspective, like somebody who might be reading a book, you'll see that it makes up a pretty interesting story, even if it doesn't always seem that way to you. Well, what that means is that everyone else is like that too. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got beautiful, heart-moving experiences that they've lived through. They've got terrible traumas that they're either using as building blocks or they're carrying scars from. And for that reason, I think it's important that we value each other. Each person really is an entire branch of life that you can take, an entire story, an entire chapter that you can add to your life. And, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, leaving completely aside that each individual is literally the image of God, as it states in the Bible, which in itself gives us incredible value. But just completely leaving that aside, from a pure, I guess you'd say, philosophical point of view, each person really is something incredibly special. So I came up with this idea years back that kind of reminded us that people are valuable and that we should strive diligently not to be hateful, not to throw away the opportunities of getting to know another person, because again, they're valuable. Each time we cast someone out or insult them unnecessarily or throw them away because we don't think we need them, we're in essence giving away a treasure trove of life possibilities. And I think that's absolutely wasteful and a bad idea. The idea I came up with at the time, I called it Cobalt Blue, because for me at the time, that was basically what my own personal experience was based off of. It was nighttime cities, kind of just... I found it while I was going to the top level of parking garages at night, downtown, and just looking out over the city, and being in the middle of the noise, yet having it as quiet as it was up there. That was really special to me. So the idea is Cobalt Blue is basically the experiences that everyone else in this life has, and they are the things that just absolutely put you at peace. They make you feel whole. They are your happy place, for lack of a better term, but they mean so much more than that in the moment. Cobalt Blue for me was where I could finally put my mind to rest. It was where everything kind of came together. And what I found is that if I can talk to people about their Cobalt Blue, again, to the best of my knowledge, obviously the term happy place has come up. Obviously this has been expressed in other ways, but the twist that I've been thinking of, I've yet to find a better name, so anytime someone else wants to come up with one, by all means, and I'll use it, because cobalt blue is kind of silly, and it's mine, right? But if I can talk to someone about their experiences, that thing that really puts them at peace, if I can get them to share that with me, then what I've actually connected with is them personally, their soul, the internal aspects of them that make them who they are, and not with the stuff that makes up this world. Because so many people will just throw flack in your face. Oh, well, I'm a conservative, so I believe that abortion is wrong. I believe in limited federal government, and I believe in low taxation. Well, I'm a liberal, and I believe that you need to let women have control of their own bodies, and I am entitled to your money to make sure that we pay for their choices on their bodies. And yeah, this, that, and the other, guns are bad, woo-hoo-doo. So many people throw that stuff out in your face, and they expect you to judge them based on that and to connect with those things and identify them as that. And to me, I'm just not interested. That's not a real person. I was watching a Jordan Peterson video as earlier this year. I don't remember when, but he said to this leftist individual, and I thought it was very concise. He was speaking to them, and he says, "Look, you've already told me what you believe. Just based off of a few things, I already know what you are. You've told me that you believe in this, that, and the other. Well, if I look down the list of things that left-leaning individuals believe in, that's now who you are. Great. That's what you've given me to work with, and I can't do anything with that." He's a clinical psychologist, after all. So for him, he wants in here. He wants in here. He wants the stuff that makes you who you are, because that's what he works with. And I thought that was a very concise way of putting it. My goal in life, by sharing Cobalt Blue, is that I feel like it's a somewhat efficient way to cut through the stuff and get to the person. Because who I want to interact with is the person, because that's what's beautiful. I think that life becomes significantly more valuable when we focus on people and less on stuff. To me, stuff is worthless. Stuff, it's where you work. It's how much money you make. It's what you believe politically. It's what you believe culturally, to an extent. I believe culture actually, and discussions about it, offer a lot more than politics do, but it's still kind of there. But the stuff, it's hobbies, it's money, it's worthless is what it is. I don't want any more stuff. There's so much stuff out there that I can just do without. I want to be where God is. Now, let's try to separate. To me, the places where He is, they're in the greetings. They're in the, "Hey man, how you doing?" They're in the smiles. They're in the laughs shared between people who are having a good time. They're in the counseling through a difficult situation. They're in the things that build relationships. That's where it is. It's in those interpersonal moments. And that's what I want more of. And so how do I get to that with people if in our modern culture it's popular to just politics someone to death? Well, I share my Cobalt Blue. I tell them what touches my soul. I ask them, what touches your soul? And they'll give you a weird look. And truth be told, a lot of people are pretty predictable even in this aspect, but you still get there. For a lot of people, especially in my age range, it's time with their kids. It's time with their family. Okay, very cool. Hey, that is where God lives in your life. You know, that is where His hand can be seen. That's where His actions can be seen. It's in the things that warm your heart. It's in the real life, the overall experiences. I feel like the generations prior to us, particularly the greatest generation or the silent generation, maybe not so much baby boomers, because they're on their own stuff. They're their own thing. I don't know a whole lot about them. I don't know that I care to. But I think the greatest generation and maybe the silent generation, I think they understand that a lot more. You know, they weren't inundated with technology. obviously to the extent that we are. You sit down with a couple of folks from the greatest generation or the silent generation, and you listen to them have a conversation. Man, that stuff's entertaining. That stuff's good. That stuff's fun. It's like you want to join in. You want to converse on that level. And what sucks is for most of us, especially millennials, we don't know how to. And me, that's one thing I've identified in my life I want to get better at. See, because what you're seeing right now in a conversation, it's about how it looks. I just dominate it. I'll just talk. I've got a lot to say, and I believe in things strongly. So conversations tend to be a little one-sided with me. I wish I could be better about that. I really do. That's one skill I would love to pick up. But that's how we get there, right? Even if we're not the best conversationalists, even if, being kind of selfish, a lot of us are, we've been trained to be. Maybe a lot of these things that we're going to end up talking about, even when we achieve these goals, we're going to find in our own mind, we're going to go, well, damn it. Turns out I actually don't care. Why am I still trying to do this? And I think the reason is because there's a payoff. There really is. There is a payoff. The payoff is that we get to connect with people again, and we get to form these bonds again. It's just my thought. I can't say for certain that it's totally valid, but that was always my idea. So, in essence, Cobalt Blue, it's that place, it's that experience, it's that memory, it's that thing that you've planted in your head that shook you to your core and made you feel profound peace, profound satisfaction, and profound happiness sometimes in that moment, right? Hopefully, if you're like me, you'll have recognized that it's an actual place you want to be, and you'll make efforts to visit that place more often. Cobalt Blue, for me, I chase it down every chance I get. I need that. For some folks, it may just be meditation, or for some folks, they may just find that time while in prayer. Hey man, that is absolutely a valid place to find it, because in the presence of God, it's simple. What we're after is to connect with people so that we can find the things that God works with. And we do these things so that we can be in the presence of God. For some folks, their Cobalt Blue, their time that they spend really being at peace may just be in prayer. And for those who don't think straight, I'll go with that. It's in meditation, or it's in playing video games, or some other such distraction. I don't think that those are really going to get on the level, to be frank, to be fair. I don't really think you can get on the level and have a truly peaceful moment that's going to change your life by indulging in distractions. But hey, these are just some of the answers I might expect to get when I talk to other people. For me, it's on top of a parking garage, probably about 65 to 70 degrees outside, in the middle of a beautiful downtown area that's lit up, looks nice, and just some solitude, some time to think. In places like this, I've done a lot of different things. I've spent a lot of time in prayer in these areas. I've also done some, I've got a buddy who's, or I had a buddy rather, who's a really experienced martial artist. He was into various different martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing, that sort of thing. And some of my best experiences and memories are actually going up on parking garage rooftops with some pads and some gloves and actually being trained combat sport and being explained how to throw a proper punch and how to kick, how to, put someone in a lock, all these different things on a parking garage roof at 11:30 at night. It seems odd, but let me tell you, it's worth it to chase after really cool experiences. It is. Even if they seem a little bit weird. And there's a wealthier sect of the population out there who they chase after experiences constantly, but they're not chasing experiences unless, they're out on a kayak vacation down some, crazy whitewater rapids, or climbing some rocks out in Machu Picchu or something. I don't know. They spend money chasing experiences in expensive places. To me, I think we can just about find it anywhere. We just have to put it in the right context. That's just me. Anyways, folks, that's what Cobalt Blue is. I think you should know what yours is. I think you should value it. And I think you should trade it like currency. I think you should want other people's experiences and to know about them and to be able to relate with them. Because when you do that, you'd take the hardest left-leaning socialist communist nonsense idiot, who also happens to be a really sharp guy, because I don't like calling names, and you'll take the most conservative Christian, anarchist-minded individual, and all of a sudden they can be friends. And I've seen it work in my life, and I believe it can work in others. So, that's all for right now, folks. Find out your Cobalt Blue. Chase others. Love people. Be good to them. They're made in the image of God. So are you. There is more content out there available in each individual person than you could ever find on the internet. Take care of yourself, guys, and I'll catch you next time.